Welcome to the Carved Emotions podcast, where emotions are evoked from a forgotten place, and poetry is the carving tool for these rejected emotions. We embrace these conversations from an open, imaginative, and refreshing mindset so that we can heal from the things that we had no idea we needed healing from. I am your host, Queen Lasine. If you are joining us for the first time, you can check out our previous episodes at the Carved Emotions podcast. Thank you for taking the time out to be here. Now, let's get right into our feelings. I'm starting today's podcast with a power thought from Go Grow Glow, a 21-day devotional journal that I've been indulging in. It's written by Jodianne Taylor Green, and it has been a wonderful eye-opener on days where my spirit is low. It's very reflective. Power thought. Your root is your root. You cannot hide or deny for all your days. May your root be found in all wholeness and hope everlasting. I wanted to start with that power thought because a lot of times people are like, this is me, this is how I was born, I can't change that, this is who I am, and it not gonna change. Of course, your root is you. Your root is definitely you. That's who you are. But what do you want your root to grow into? What are you feeding your root? What's going to become of your root? What is going to be harvested from your root? And I like to go back to things that I've mentioned before. Who are we carving ourselves into? Who are we carving ourselves into? And I'm mentioning this because we are the gatekeepers to our future. And I like to say, carve yourself into who you are to be, into who you want to be. And the ultimate reason behind that is that your root can stay there and dry up just the same. Your root is your root, and nothing can become of that if you don't allow something to become of that, if you don't fertilize that root, if you don't feed that root something. And it starts with little habits that we're not even noticing. Like, I've talked myself into being frugal, and how I hate wasting food to the point where I just absolutely cannot waste food. I've always just talked about how I hate to waste food. And I don't know if I even realize that I have become that person who cannot waste food. I absolutely cannot. And I feel like I talked myself into that. I am now that type of person. I am now the person who can't waste food. And I want to adopt this into a daily lifestyle and my goals and my achievements. I want to talk myself into all the things that I want to be and become, because I definitely did that with my frugal state of mind of wasting food. And it's becoming a lot of things. I've decided that I'm not that type of person, and I've started jotting down a list of things of who I am. I am now the person who don't use sugar in their tea. I'm that type of person. And I'm writing that down and I'm practicing it, because no decision is made once. Somebody told me that, and it stuck with me. No decision is ever made once. It is a consistent effort. You have to decide to do a thing. So if today you get up and you forgot, for me example, I forgot to not use sugar, and I put some sugar in my tea. I'm a frugal person at that point, so I'm not gonna throw away the tea. But bet you tomorrow I don't put no sugar in my tea. Not because I made the mistake and put sugar in my tea today doesn't mean that I have to do it. Put sugar in my tea tomorrow. I have to make the decision again to not put sugar in my tea. And if I slip up another time, I'm going to make the decision again to not put sugar in my tea, because I am now that type of person. And that type of person doesn't mean that it won't have its downfall 1 and 2 times, but you do not unbecome that person just because you slip up. So make the decision daily to be who you are supposed to be. Harvest yourself, carve yourself, fertilize yourself into who you want to be. Fertilize that root, water that root. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be the first one to tell you this. But if you want to be better, you have to do the things that make you better. We are oftentimes so focused on what we are not achieving that we ultimately don't achieve anything, because we're focused on the things that isn't happening rather than putting our energy and time into things that are actually happening. So change that perspective, no? Stay focused on the things that makes you grow, the things that change you for the better, the things that elevate you. Put your energy into that, because they always say don't focus on the things you can't change. Work on the things that you can change. Look at it this way. Instagram notifies us, or just any social media platform, as a matter of fact, notifies us whenever somebody follows us. But have you ever gotten a notification when somebody unfollow you? And I'm talking about the regular platform, not an additional app that you download to show you this, but the actual thing. It notify you when somebody follow you, but you don't get a notification when somebody unfollow you. The point I'm trying to make is stay focused on the growth. That right there is the growth. They're showing you the growth. Your followers have increased. That's growth for you. That is a prime example of just putting your energy into the things that are happening for you, not the things that are not happening. And these things about us, they don't change overnight. They don't just come like that. It don't happen. And I know it's hard. So I am trying to change myself. And in order for my change to take effect, I remind myself who I want to be, and I practice these things. I even write them down. Lasine don't drink alcohol. Lasine likes to plan. That's not true. That's not true. I'm a very spontaneous person, but I do understand that planning is important as well. So it's something that I want to take on. It's something that I know I need, and I'm changing that about myself. So I am practicing these things for the betterment of me. They said practice makes progress. Practice who you want to become. Practice the decisions you want to make. Practice them until it happens. As I said, nothing happens overnight. No decision is ever made once. It's an effort. And we're going into this year with that effort. I am fighting and working on changing myself. And enough people come to me and be like, oh, you changed for me. Oh, you just changed. So, oh yes. I am grateful for that change. Very grateful. Because a lot of times we upgrade all the material things. Our phone, we upgrade our cars, and we see a new model will come with a different feature, something more advanced, and we go and get it, right? The iPhone is now at 14 or whatever, and I have my old iPhone 7, I think. It no longer works. It's not the phone that I use on a daily basis, but I still have it, but it does not work. It has gotten outdated. And just like those phones and those cars, we are going to become outdated if we don't upgrade ourselves. So think about where you are in your change. Are you upgrading? Are you carving into a new being? Are you watering your roots? Or are you outdating? Are you stagnant? Are you withering? And I can bet you we go and get those updated phones, that updated car, when we ourselves are getting outdated. And you have to think to yourself, is that really where you want for yourself? Is that where you want to be for yourself? I know for a fact that I want to upgrade myself. If there's a better version out there of me, I am going to get it every single time. And if that new version presents itself today and I changed yesterday, me I gotta take it. I am taking that new upgraded version of me. And if tomorrow one other version of me come up, best believes I'm gone with it. I am not trying to stay the same. I am looking to always change. I don't feel bad that I'm changing. So people coming to me and say, oh, you changed. Thank you. I'm glad you notice it, because me are dead for change. I am happy you're noticing that change. Thank you. I am okay with that, because there's some things in life that are inevitable. Your root is your root, but you can shed those dead leaves and bring forth new ones. So the excuse of saying that this is how you are, it not work. That's who you are, but who are you becoming? And we have to understand that we are human beings and we mess up a lot of times. But if we can change that each time, then why not? Remember, no decision is ever made once. So why would you still make an effort to be the same person you were 10 years ago? In high school, in college. I want to be better every single minute. And if that don't work for another person, that is on them. That's not on me. That's their business. They have to deal with that. And the funny thing is, it's actually cheaper to upgrade yourself than it is to upgrade that car, that phone. A more refined you that is to make your life better. Just as you're thinking of all the things you can do with these material things, but taking on a better version of you is difficult to do. Because truth be told, we know what our downfalls are, and we can make the conscious decision to eliminate, rearrange, and change. So here's to the upgraded version of me, every second, every minute of the day. And it's going to have glitches. Nothing and no one is perfect. And that's why on the phone you can update apps and all of that. Cars need servicing. It's the same with you. Work on those faults. There are some things that won't fall into place overnight, but you have to update and service. Remember, no decision is ever made once. So just like how my phone keeps stalling in a certain app, don't we go and update that app? Just as I see myself stuck in a behavior I don't like or know that is a detriment of me, let me go upgrade that part of me. Let me service that part of me. Let us upgrade and service for a better version of ourselves always. As I said, we're human beings. And I know oftentimes than not, we don't give ourselves credit. We doubt our greatness, we doubt our dreams because of past traumas and abuse, and we feel less of ourselves, and we dim our lights because somebody told us that we can't shine. Is our light dull? Well, I am here to tell you, say nothing no go so, with this episode's poem by Queen Lassine. Worth. You are worth way more than what they give to you. The pain, the lies, the cries. You are worth so much more than what you take from the world. The fears, the bare minimum, all the things that made you numb. Demand the you that you need. Take the courage that's stored away. Embrace the beauty that is you. The world is your playground. Why aren't you jumping around? This is your place too. You deserve to be here. And I'm going to leave you with a quote by Viola Davis that stuck with me. She said, "You can't be hesitant about who you are." And it shook me, because if we allow others to define who we are, to write our path, then why are we here? We have to shake the ground that is ours. We have to water our roots, fertilize it, carved ourselves into who we want to be, and shine. Don't be afraid to shine. As we close this episode of the Carved Emotions podcast, I want to thank you again for joining us. Be sure to share and follow us at the.carved.emotions on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you on next week's episode.